Hey guys, Nick here. Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and the finale to the next Dragon Ball story on the channel. What if Pikkon was wished back? With all that said, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick before we begin, along with checking out the About tab and homepage so you don't miss anything for the Omniverse's future and so on. With all that said, let's get started. We open up where we ended off last time. Jiren has went full power, and Universe 6 and 7 have teamed up against 11 and knocked out Kenshi, Dispo, and Top. And Jiren just flares his full power, and this alone knocks out Kaba, Olibu, Batamo, Magetta, and it almost knocks out Tien, but he jumps in the air and tries to go for a Neo Tri-Beam, but Jiren does a critical upper, and with even just his aura alone, ordinarily, this would have killed Tien. So Tien is very crippled after this. Then 18 and 17 are targeted next, and they use all their powers, but even together, it's barely even registering to Jiren. And 18, like Canon, sacrifices herself to keep 17 in the tournament. And then Purina and Cyanel use all their Namekian-fused essence, but then they get eliminated. Hit tries his time cage technique. Pikkon uses Hyper Tornado. 17 uses multiple barriers, attacks, and blasters. And Orange Piccolo uses all the powers of the third eye and his pure malice and strength. And with Piccolo especially and the third eye, this actually forces Jiren, believe it or not, to break his limits. And this eliminates Hit, and it cripples everyone else, including Goku and Vegeta, who use a Gallic Kamehameha. Kefla uses a Gigantic Burst. 17 flares his blasters. Gohan uses a full power Masenko. Pikkon uses a Thunder Flash, but Jiren counters with an Overheat Magnetron and detonates it. And with this is the catalyst for Goku's Ultra Instinct. And he becomes Ultra Instinct Omen, or Autonomous Ultra Instinct Omen, if you want to be more politically correct. Kefla, Gohan, and even Piccolo, who not so much like the others is crippled, but they just stare in astonishment. And even Pikkon smiles, knowing that the guy he met in Otherworld just literally achieved a form of the gods, not just Super Saiyan God. This is amazing. And Goku rushes forward, and he does dodge, but being regular UI Omen for the first time in the tournament against full power limit breaker Jiren just utterly dominates him. And Goku barely has answers for this, and he's reaching his peak. Piccolo knows this too, and he tells everyone they have to do something now. Otherwise, they lose. So he powers up. And Gohan, Beast Form, and Piccolo use a quote-unquote father-son special beam cannon. Kefla breaks her limits and becomes a Super Saiyan 3, because they were Saiyans and they broke their limits in the Tournament of Power. So for this, in this timeline, me giving Kefla Super Saiyan 3 pretty much for the first time, you can't really call it too freaking weird. It's a Saiyan, for Christ's sake. Vegeta turns back into Blue Evolved and uses a final explosion. Pikkon uses another Thunder Flash, and with all these moves, Jiren counters with a Power Wall and uses his eyes, his energy, and just everything to push the attacks back. And it's really stressful right now. All of these moves coming together is actually like the ring. You thought the ring was destroyed in canon. This is about to erase the ring. But just before Jiren's about to completely destabilize and get rid of the moves, Giant Orange Piccolo with the third eye just whoops from behind him and grabs him and just completely grips him there. And he yells to Goku, "Do it now!" And UI Omen Goku powers with everything he's got left and a full power Kamehameha. And Jiren realizes, so it's not just one universe that puts trust in each other. They actually put their trust in another. This is what it's like, universal trust. And Universe 11 is erased. But Caulifla and Kale, they're out of the fusion, and they just don't have any strength left, so they're knocked out. Universe 6 has to go, and they're erased. But plenty of people from Universe 7, they wish back all the universes. So, yeah, they ain't gone that long. If you think about it, the universes weren't gone that long, period. And like I said, the Moro arc, for the first time since I have included, besides Ultra Ego and Black Frieza and all that, since I am including Moro and Granola and everything, because it actually is going to be canon, I'm sad to say that even though I included Moro and the Galactic Patrol and Miras and everything, the Moro arc isn't going to happen because Ginyu effed it up and got himself locked in the process. Because of Ginyu trying to release Moro early, this means that even if the seal was broken, the Galactic Patrol, Miras' angelic powers, especially Miras, and other freaking, just interference, especially our group in this timeline, would mean that even if Moro got out, the arc would either go exactly the same or it would not even be a threat. And because Moro almost escaped early, this means that the lock on Moro would be improved upon like thousands fold. As for Granola, I can see the fight and the arc going almost exactly the same, bar it maybe like Yardret and stuff like that. So, without like bits and pieces from Yardret, I can see this arc almost playing exactly the same. Like I said, you take some stuff out. Granola would still want his revenge on the Saiyans. There's no Frieza, so it would literally just be a feud between Goku, Vegeta, Granola, and Gas. And as for Gas, like, what would become of him and, like, Frieza coming and, like, pretty much saving them? I can see Vegeta breaking his limits with Ultra Ego and, like, really getting the full field of finishing off Gas. And Goku's True Ultra Instinct and Granola helping, I can see them taking out Gas personally. And let's say that even if Gas, decrepit as he might be, somehow got the edge, I can see someone like Pikkon or something like that just helping out, or Piccolo with the third eye. But like I said, the arcs, even though I'm including them for the first time on this channel, the best you're going to get out of the story is Ginyu and Moro, because there's really just not much to go for them in this story, because there really just isn't. But that's pretty much the end of it. And what would have happened had Pikkon been chosen to be wished back, and if the other world actually got the due from its warriors that canon never brought. So, we end the Pikkon story, and honestly, one of, I think, my favorite works and things on a very good note. One might think that I rushed parts of this, but that's because, at first, Pikkon would only affect as much as his character would be involved in. Now, I could have had it that he just ended up, like, having whoever killed him in the past, like, appear as a character and create, like, a fan-made character for him. But I want to save something like that, especially for other world-specific people that we saw, like Olibu, Aqua, and Pikkon and stuff. I want to save that for maybe future ideas, especially ones that are, like, focused on them. This even if I did go a little bit like, hey, let's give Pikkon and Piccolo from the start, it was just like, how could I not? Pikkon, like I said, is one of my favorite characters. I bet every Dragon Ball Z fan has Pikkon as one of their top faves. I guarantee you. And it's still to this day. Especially considering the fact that manga and Kai material has made him, Ulibu, and so many others canon, if not all of them. So, and also, Ulibu definitely was going to give him more character, because I teased him. Aqua, this would be the first time I've ever included him on the channel. And having him waterify the entire tournament of Power Ring gives Aqua character. It actually, and having him eliminate almost half the roster is like, yeah, I was definitely going in hard with Aqua. That's because I didn't want it to just be Pikkon and Ulibu at the very end. I wanted to give at least one otherworld character love and show not just that the fact that the story is about Pikkon, but otherworld fighters that deserved more screen time. And Aqua, even if he is puny, definitely was one of them. Heck, he was the opening knockout blow for Pikkon and himself in the Janemba movie. So, yeah. And Ulibu, expect much coming from him. Aqua, not so sure yet. Anyway, yeah, I definitely went hard in for Pikkon. Definitely way more parts than others, because many parts I had to skip because there just was no point in doing them. And that brings us to a few other things to talk about. For one thing, this is the first time that I'm actually giving Jocko some sort of character arc. And having Ginyu swap bodies with him instead of Tagoma. Because I wanted a switch up, and I honestly surprised myself with the fact I chose Jocko, because Jocko's an elite galactic patrolman, so no one, unless you're Maris, would expect Jocko have Ginyu possess his body and everything. Could have had him possess Bulma or someone else again, but I'm like, no, I have to do more with it. And this is the first time you guys are probably like, yes, you've included Ultra Ego stuff before, but why did you include Moro and the granola stuff? I thought that you didn't really do that. Well, if you guys have not been paying attention the past couple months here, or at least month and a half, Moro, granola, and all the manga stuff after the Tournament of Power, along with Super getting pretty much a remake with Super Beerus and so on, that is all now confirmed to be happening in fall and in 2027, and is now all canon. So, that means I'm going to finally be putting in Moro and granola, and all the heaters and all that manga stuff, very much so, in play for future stories. I've already teased it with Black Frieza and Ultra Ego, but those were just like the main takeaways that I wanted to put in. Not to say I didn't have manga stuff, but it was going to be exclusive from the manga to the show, since it wasn't really confirmed to be canon because it wasn't adapted. But that all changes as 2026-7 and onward. It's Dragon Ball exclusive. And that, I think we can all say. So the obvious takeaway from this is this story was one of my favorite works. Pikkon especially. And giving Piccolo the overpowered orange demonic frickin' third eye, and like tying so much into other things, making Jiren an absolute monster in the Tournament of Power, and just getting to do so much more, especially with the Goku Black arc and everything like that. It just goes to show, like, even though many of arcs were skipped, I say that this overall was one of the best stories for this channel, even if many parts were cut down. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed the Pikkon story, and you can bet Otherworld Warriors onwards and stuff that was included in this story, like I've always said, I tease something and I bring it to justice. And that's what Pikkon was to me, and hopefully all of you. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this Pikkon Wished backstory. Stay tuned for Thunder's 3rd episode and Derek surviving the Scream franchise. After that, I'll pretty much be caught up pre-making stuff for now. Of course, you guys will never be able to tell. But I've said that before. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys next time as the Omniverse continues to grow.